Because when you're not into yourself, and then you have to keep asking yourself, why is it that I don't have any friends? Why is it that I'm always upset? Why is it that I'm always arguing with everyone? You know, my children, I'm at work, you know, I'm always, you know, why is this? There has to be a reason for that, because everybody can't be against you. Everybody you meet, everybody you're around, is everybody else's fault. People to deal with different personalities. That's part of relating to yourself. When you understand that everyone is different, we can all relate on some level. And then also, when we say, you know, when we relate to everyone, we feel like if I'm talking to an adult, and I'm allowing that adult to speak and express themselves, why can't I allow a child to talk and express themselves freely when we all relate on a certain level? Because that person is an adult, we allow them to talk, but because they're a child and we feel like they're inexperienced and they have a lot of growing up to do, we don't allow them to express their thoughts. I think it works against us as a nation. Because we're building our children, we want them to express themselves, we're building them to be leaders. That's just an example of how we can relate on the same level. Just because they're a child doesn't mean that they can't relate or express themselves just as an adult. You nurture that. You know, your child has questions, your child challenged you on something that you may believe in, that you think is right and your child think is wrong. That's fine. It's very important to express yourself. Everyone in the relationship must express themselves fully, because you can interpret something wrong. You can assume that someone is feeling some way or thinking something and they're expressing something totally different. So it's important that we are constantly working on understanding each other and relationships. Sometimes I think when you're in a relationship with someone, you stop communicating, you stop trying to understand the person because you feel you know them already. You've been with them for so many years, you've known them for so many years, you know them. And I think that's a mistake that we make, because we have to constantly work at relationships. We have to constantly talk. We have to constantly remind each other of who we are.
Are you ready to get down to the new reflection? Baby, you ready for the film?
I think also that when we're relating to others, we tend to, if things aren't going the way we want them to go and it's bringing up some emotions like anger or frustration, I think the first thing that we decide to express is, you know, we decide to lash out, and then then the other person is lashing out. How can we resolve the issue? How can we work to figure out how we can make things better so it doesn't happen again? Everyone that's relating needs to figure out a way to do that. You know, to work through the anger, to work through the frustration. And the way to do that is you have to talk about it. You have to talk about it in a way that is going to bring about some solutions. I think that's another issue that we have, is when we're trying to communicate, I think a lot of people spend time on just voicing their opinion or what that person did to make them angry. We can do that. You need to express that so that the person can understand what it is that they did. But once you do that, you need to move forward to figure out how is it that if this problem was to arise again, how can we deal with it differently? How can we eliminate it? Because we're always striving to have a healthy relationship. So relationship takes a lot of work. Just the way it takes work with everything you do. The same energy that you put in exercising, eating right, your job, working long hours, you have to give that energy into every part of your life, even your relationship. Because I think sometimes some people just accept, they get into a mode where they just accept a situation. They say that's just how that person is and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm with them, you know, this is how my child is. There's nothing I can do about it. Even like bad experiences, when you go through something, you really have to take time. You need to separate yourself. And I mean this in a relationship with a male and female, with a relationship with a friend. We don't think about that when we're dealing with friends. We don't think about, you know what, take a minute, step back, and evaluate yourself. Because when you have someone that's in your space for such a long time, you start to do things the same way. You have the same things in common. You talk about the same things. And in order to get yourself into your own identity, you have to separate yourself. And just understand and make sure that whatever direction you're going in a relationship is the direction you want to go in. The only time we think about it is when we get into an argument with the person. We say we need space. That's when we decide we need space, when there's something wrong. But how about just take a little space when things are okay? When we look for external ways to understand how to relate to others, how to have a healthy relationship, what is it that we're looking for? We're looking for someone to teach us how to communicate, how to be honest, and how to love. But all those things are within you. Once you tune into your body, You learn how important honesty is, how important communication, how important trust is, and you will be able to read other people easily. You will be able to attract someone who has the same system as you, has the same morals, has the same values as you when you connect with yourself.